Hawkeye, also known as Clint Barton, had always lived on the edge, but today he found himself on a different kind of edge perched on a rooftop in the heart of New York City. Overlooking a scene that would change his life forever, the Avengers had faced countless threats before, but this one was personal. A mysterious figure, one with a history intertwined with his own, had emerged from the shadows. And Clint knew it wasn't just a coincidence. Hawkeye had crossed paths with Hank, Pym before, the brilliant scientist and founding Avenger, though their interactions had always been tense. Hank, a genius with a troubled past, had always kept a distance from Clint's world, focused more on his work than the team. But now, something was different. The last message Clint had received from Hank wasn't a simple email or call, it was a distress. Signal. Clint, it's happening again. I need your help. Clint had hesitated, but not for long. He had a soft spot for Hank, despite his complicated nature. The two shared a bond over the painful losses in their pasts, the toll their duties had taken on their personal lives. Hank had once been a hero, but over the years, his choices had led to tragic consequences. His creation of Ultron had nearly destroyed the Earth. And that was something that would haunt anyone, but Clint understood. Loss. He understood redemption. It's now, standing in the shadows, Clint adjusted his bow, scanning the ground below. He was on the trail of something far more dangerous than he had anticipated. It wasn't just Hank who was in danger, it was the entire city. Hank had been working on a secret project, something tied to his Pym Particles, but someone had stolen his research. The thief had ties to an old enemy of Clint's. And it was clear they were after something far more powerful than just the science behind shrinking or growing objects. As Clint made his way down into the streets, he could see the evidence of chaos. Cars were overturned, windows shattered, and the air felt electric with tension. There, in the distance, he saw the shadow of a figure, a man in a red suit, his eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Hank, Clint muttered under his breath. The figure turned, and Clint knew in an instant that it wasn't Hank, but someone who had stolen his work and twisted it into something darker. The villain, now imbued with the power of the Pym Particles, was more than a match for Clint's arrows. "You think you can stop me, Hawkeye?" the villain sneered, growing larger with every step. "I have the power to alter reality itself." Clint stood his ground, his mind racing. He couldn't face this enemy head-on, not without a plan. Then he remembered something Hank had once told him: never underestimate the power of your smallest move. With a smirk, Clint reached for his quiver, selecting a special arrow. This wasn't just any ordinary tip. This was a shrinking arrow, designed specifically for situations like this. He had only one shot. The villain continued to grow, laughing, until the last thing he saw was Clint's arrow hurtling toward him. It struck with precision, hitting the villain square in the chest. The once towering figure began to shrink rapidly, caught in the effects of the Pym Particles, losing his form, his power. Clint let out a sigh of relief, but his mind immediately turned back to Hank. The Pym Particles had the potential to do so. Much good, but they also carried incredible risks. Clint needed to find Hank and make sure the scientist didn't slip into the darkness of his past again since he disappeared into the city. Clint knew that, no matter the battle, he could always count on his skill, his will, and the few that still trusted him. And that was enough to face whatever came next, even if it was Hank Pym himself, *the end.